It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl, the first of two semifinal games in this year's elementary competition. We started with 40 schools. We're down to the final 4. Let's meet today's competitors. First from Bond Mill Elementary School, say hello to Emily Velez, Elijah Oshaniyi, and Matthew Miller. And from Glenarden Woods Elementary School, please say hello to Chris Tahoe, Joseph Yambo, and Chidima Oluavu. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty. The easier questions, they're on the left, worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones worth 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And at the end of the 2 rounds today, we will have one of our 2 finalists for this year's championship round. Let's make sure everything's working properly. Let's go to the red team. Elijah, would you try your buzzer for me? Thank you. Good luck to you, to Emily, and to Matthew. And let's turn that light off. Joseph, would you try yours, please? Thank you. And good luck to you, to Chidima, and to Chris. Congratulations on making it this far in our competition. You're great students. May the better team win. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically B before G. So Bond Mill and Elijah, let's play the bowl.
Zoo Parade for 15 points.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. We have a visual question to start our game. Teams, the long-extinct dodo bird is back in the news because that bone, the longest bone in its body, is about to be auctioned off. What longest bone is that? Glenarden Woods.
The femur?
Yeah, that's the femur bone in the dodo, and the Christie's auction house is expecting up to $25,000 that people will pay for that bone. Go, Joseph.
Science Potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Team scientists now believe that X-rays and gamma rays are also released during this weather phenomenon. Elijah?
Electrical storms.
More specifically?
Thunderstorms.
More?
Well, lightning.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear, yes. Lightning, also accompanied by other forms of radiation. Good answer. Thank you for helping them out there, Matthew. Elijah, go.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, it's hard to believe that this yellow-flowered plant is grown and cultivated in England, whereas in this country we consider it Glenarden Woods.
Sunflower.
Not a sunflower. Bond Mill, it's hard to believe that this yellow-flowered plant is cultivated in England, whereas in this country we consider it a weed that continues to flower no matter how many times we mow it down.
Dandelion?
Yeah, the dandelion. They're all over the place. They're actually good to eat. We just don't need that many of them. All right. Red team 80. Green team 65. Bond Mill, go.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the very strong metal that they used to make the plate for hockey player Sidney Crosby's jaw after he was injured is what T initial chemical? Glenarden Woods.
Titanium?
Titanium, yes. I was about to say the element named for a race of giants in Greek mythology, the Titans. Green. Tied it up. 80 all.
Dateline Science for 10, please.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, I'm going to read you a quote. A scientist in his laboratory is not only a technician, he's also a child placed before natural phenomena which impress him like a fairy tale. What famous female Polish scientist wrote this? Glenarden Woods.
Marie Curie.
Marie Curie, yes, who won 2 Nobel Prizes. That is what she wrote. So she was intrigued by science at the same time that she was very practical about it. Go green.
Body system for 20.
Body systems for 20 points teams. In the recent NCAA basketball tournament, Kevin Ware of the University of Louisville broke 2 bones in his lower leg. Von Mill.
His leg bone and his knee bone. I forgot what it's called though.
Yeah, that's what we need. Glenarden Woods, to get the points, to get those 20 points, I need the name of the 2 lower leg bones that snapped in Kevin Ware's leg when he came down improperly. Compound fracture. Can you name those 2 lower leg bones for those points, Glenarden Woods?
Tibia and the fibula.
Say it one more time.
Tibia and the fibula.
Judges? Yes, they're going to give that to you. Yes, the tibia and the fibula, the 2 lower leg bones, the femur at the top. Go green.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Just as leeches suck blood from their hosts, the mistletoe plant, which is a parasite, Joseph?
It steals the nutrients from another organism, plant.
Be more specific.
It taps its roots into another. It takes the light from photosynthesis and it uses it for its own.
No. Von Mill, just as a leech sucks blood from its host, the parasitic mistletoe plant will send its roots deep into a host to suck its what?
Water.
Sap. Sap. Judges, are we correct in that? Yes. Sap is what we were looking for. No points. Go green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, what finger joints are said to turn white? Glenarden Woods.
Knuckles.
Knuckles, yes. If you're afraid of flying, you're a white knuckle flyer. You hold onto that armrest as tight as you can. Good. Green. Go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Look at the monitor in the studio if you would, please. To make this passenger pigeon de-extinct, it's extinct now, scientists have taken some DNA from a leg bone and put it into the egg of a currently living pigeon that will serve as what kind of S-initialed mother, Glenarden Woods?
A surrogate.
Say it again.
Surrogate.
Judges? Not quite. Von Mill, what kind of S-initialed mother will carry to term this de-extinct pigeon egg? Yes, sir. Correct answer is surrogate. A surrogate or a substitute mother. All right, the buzzer has sounded. We've come to the end of the first round. Von Mill is at 80. Glenarden Woods 120. Still a close game. We'll be back with lots more Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't go away.
It takes more than perfect balance.
More than a great pair of legs.
More than a good sword.
It takes more than just talent.
More than the will to win.
It takes you.
It takes your donations to support the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic teams. And now you can donate on Facebook.
He's done it! The U.S. has done it!
Support the U.S. Olympic team on Facebook and donate to make Olympic dreams come true.
Hello, I'm Tom Selleck. In every generation, men and women have come forward to fight for freedom and defend our liberty. Over 58,000 of them are named on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Join me in supporting a new campaign to build an education center near the wall to tell their stories and teach about the values of those who have served in the past and who serve today. Learn how you can help. Thank you.
And welcome back to the semifinal match here on the Science Bowl. And these are 2 teams out of our final 4. As we said at the top of the show, we started out with 40 schools. So these elite students, no matter what happens today, are winners. And we have for them, no matter what happens today, gifts just as our thanks to them and our tribute to them. Audubon field guides in a variety of topics: birds, mammals, fossils, butterflies, insects, whatever they would like, as a keepsake and a memento of their time here on the Science Bowl. Now, if you've not been watching and you missed meeting these young people earlier in the season, let's introduce them to you now. Bon Mill, nice to have you with us today. Elijah, you're all wearing matching shirts. What do the shirts say?
All the names of our 5th grade classmates.
All the 5th grade. Now, you guys are all 5th graders, is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Elijah, who's the principal at your school?
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes, and I believe he's here today, is he not?
Yes.
I know how proud he is of you guys, no matter what happens. And the sponsor of your team?
Miss Jacobs.
Miss Jacobs. And we have been on the air. This is our 27th year, and I think Miss Jacobs has been the sponsor for 26 of those 27 years. So we are indebted to her for her devotion to our Science Bowl game here. You guys play so well, Elijah. Do you practice a lot?
Yes. We sit together every day at a certain lunch table, and we study.
Oh, it shows.
And,
it absolutely shows.
And we watch shows.
Elijah, what did you want to say?
And every once in a while, we would come in and practice with buzzers that we have of our own.
Very good. So you got have just like your own Science Bowl set back there at Bon Mill. Elijah, before I leave you, are there any alternates on your team?
Yes, there is one.
Who is that?
Chris Jones.
Okay, and Chris will be out in just a few moments. And tell us about your career goals.
When I grow up, I want to either be an anthropologist or an actor.
Or an actor. And you recently starred in Night at the Wax Museum, right?
The most recent one is Hee Haw Hayride.
Oh, okay. So you've already started developing a long resume there. I can see you as a good actor. You have nice stage presence here. Matthew, nice to have you back. Tell people the Matthew story. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to read a lot, and I watch Science Bowl sometimes in my free time.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And what kind of books you like?
I like mystery books and pretty much like science books, like science fiction too.
Well, it is paying off. You're a great player, you're a great student, and it is showing here. And one day, what do you want to do?
I want to be a chemist or an oboist. So,
I can see you being successful no matter what you choose. Emily, first time on our program. She was an alternate before. Now she's up here in the big leagues and has, count them, 1, 2, 3 bulldogs at home. And not surprisingly, she wants to be a veterinarian, right?
Yes.
So you take care of the dogs. Are they your primary responsibility?
Well, at home we kind of share the responsibility. Like I help my mom get my dogs food, and I get them water with my brother.
Yeah, well, that's great. Tell me, Emily, why you wanted to be on this show.
Well, it seemed very interesting to me. Like, I really like science and game shows, so...
So you're in heaven today, right? This is just where you want to be.
You know.
Well, we're happy to have you here. You're playing a nice game. You keep it up. Glenarden Woods, nice to see you here. Glenarden Woods, a past Science Bowl champion in our 27 years. I think you've won 4 times. I know you'd like to add to that tally. Joseph, tell us about Glenarden Woods. First of all, where is it?
Well, it's in Glenarden.
In Glenarden, it's kind of obvious, right here in the central portion of Prince George's County. Bon Mill up there in Laurel, up in the north. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Miss Cecilia Bolding.
Yeah, and she does a great job over there, and I know how much she appreciates what you do here on Science Bowl. And sponsor of your team?
Our sponsors are Miss Stewart, Miss Emerson, Miss Brundage, Miss Wright, and our tag coordinator, Miss Monroe.
Wow, you almost have a sponsor for every one of you. That's the kind of commitment Glenarden Woods always makes. And Joseph, did you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Max Hernandez and Sam Atkins.
And they're in the wings. They'll be out in just a few moments. And Chris, I know you were an alternate before. Nice to have you on set. Joseph, before I leave you, tell me about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, in my spare time, I usually like go on the computer, see science news, or just go outside, study nature, stuff like that.
Regular kid, but you're doing it all. You're doing all the right things. You want to be a computer engineer someday, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be a good one. Chris, nice to have you here. Tell us about yourself. I know you like basketball, right? And you like other sports too, don't you?
Yes.
Like what?
Soccer.
Soccer, all right. But you don't play on any organized teams, did you? You just kind of pick up games out there?
Yeah.
Why'd you want to be on the show?
Because, first of all, I get to be on TV, and science is really interesting.
Yeah, and being on TV kind of validates things, doesn't it? Yeah, and you can send the link for our show because we post them online on YouTube so everybody can see you. All right, and tell me what you want to do someday.
I want to be either a pro at some kind of sport, mainly soccer and basketball, and I want to be a software engineer.
Very good. I like your confidence, Chris. You have a real nice presence there. Chittima, nice to have you back. An excellent captain. She and Joseph has switched seats here for today. Tell me about your future.
Well, in my future, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a chemist, or all three.
I think you could do all those things if you wanted to. What do you like to do in your spare time?
I like to watch TV, read books, or play with my little brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Are you the oldest?
Yes.
Yeah, so they look up to you. You're the role model, and you're setting a real nice example for them here in this year. Let's get back into our game. 120 for Glenarden Woods, 80 for Bond Mill. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from Joseph. Joseph, start us out, please.
Body systems for 15, please.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, be careful if you get a tattoo, because if the tattoo artist uses a dirty needle, you can get hepatitis, which is an inflammation of what body organ? Glenarden Woods, what organ can get inflamed if you get hepatitis?
The liver?
You got that right. 3 heads all working in unison over there. The liver, absolutely right. Go green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, to keep the miniaturized trees known as bonsais tiny, you have to use what P initial trimming process on the upper branches? What P initial term describes that trimming process, Bond Mill? Okay, you rang and you had some idea. Tell me what you were thinking.
I was thinking photosynthesis, but I was wrong.
Okay. Come on, Matthew and Emily. You got to help him out in situations like this. He's kind of out there on his own. We need a P initial term. Let's go to Glenarden Woods. Glenarden Woods, this P initial trimming process that keeps bonsai trees miniature is known as what?
May I pass it to Chittima?
Chittima?
Pruning.
Pruning. That's it. You prune the tree, and that's something you can do on any kind of vegetation. All right, let's try again on green.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, we're going to talk W initialed animals here. If you have a baby walrus, it's a pup. If you have a baby wombat, you have a joey. And if you have a baby whale or a wildebeest, both of their babies are known as these. Glenarden Woods.
A calf?
Calves, yeah. You got a wildebeest calf and a whale calf. Good. Go. Green.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, in the animated movie Monsters vs. Aliens, the character known as Susan Murphy was turned into a giant because on her wedding day, she was struck by one of these celestial Glenarden Woods.
Meteorite?
Yeah, she was struck by a meteorite and she turned into a giant. Absolutely right. I would have added the same kind of celestial body that recently crashed into Russia. All right, you're on a roll there. Guys, come on, get your act together here. Settle down, talk to each other, listen to what I have to say. Go green.
Let's get physical for 25, please.
Get physical for 25. The big one in that category, team's 2-part answer. The Chinese recently have developed something called carbon aerogel, the lightest material on Earth. It's 1/6 the density of air. It actually weighs 0.16 mgs per cc. I'll give you 25 points if you can tell me both what mg and cc stand for. Glenarden Woods, Bond Mill, be ready if I come to you. I need both, Joseph. Be careful. I need them exactly.
Milligram per cubic centimeter.
You got them both. Milligrams per cubic centimeters. Nicely done. Go green.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Maybe they do it so that there's no evidence for predators to see that they're there. Maybe there's a nutritional deficiency. But when dogs disgustingly engage in coprophagia, what do they do? What do they do, Glenarden Woods?
They eat poop.
They eat poop, absolutely right. I'll bet those bulldogs that Emily has, sometimes they do that as well. All right, go back to green. 220 to 80. Come on, Bond Mill, let's jump a little faster there. Let's work together. 3 heads working as one. Go green.
Dateline science for 15, please.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, recently led an expedition where he found the remains of the Saturn rockets that 40 years ago fell into the ocean during what events that took place in this country? Yes, Glenarden Woods?
World War II.
No, World War II, very good. The remains of Saturn rockets that fell into the ocean 40 years ago. Jeff Bezos recently found those. What took place 40 years ago?
Cold War.
Those were the moon launches. when we went to the moon, and the Saturn rockets that lifted up the lunar modules fell back into the ocean, and they have been laying there on the ocean bottom ever since. Go green.
Zoo parade for 25, please.
Zoo parade for 25, big one in that category. Teams, the wonderfully maneuverable wings of a dragonfly are attached to the flight muscles in what middle part, Glenarden Woods?
Abdomen?
Not the abdomen. Come on, Bond Mill, here's your chance. These wings of a dragonfly are attached to the flight muscles located in what middle part of an arthropod's body?
The stomach?
No, the thorax. Thorax is the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. The thorax is the one in the center. Good tries. Go green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, this word, which means carbon-based, has come to mean pesticide-free and antibiotic-free when they put it on a food label. What word now means pesticide-free, but it really means carbon-based? Organic foods are pesticide and antibiotic free. They cost a lot more too, generally. Go green.
Body systems for 25, please.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, a three-part answer. I'll need all three parts. Teams, if you go to the doctor for a physical examination, that doctor will use this instrument to listen to what two organs as he listens. What two organs and what's the name of the device? Glenarden Woods.
He'll use a stethoscope to hear your heart and lungs.
You got all three, absolutely right. The movement of your heart and also the sound inside your lungs. Taps your back sometimes at the same time. Good answer. Go.
Science potpourri for 25, please.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, listen carefully. You know, there are good and bad cholesterols. There are also good and bad versions of these kinds of chemicals. The good ones are the omega-3s. The bad ones are the trans. Glenarden Woods.
Vitamins?
Not vitamins. Good try. The good ones are the omega-3s.
Fat.
The bad ones are?
Fats.
That's what I want to hear. You got yourself 25 points. I'm happy. Good. Go. Yes, sir.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Team, scientists now think that it is the magma that is the lubricant for the Earth's tectonic plates that reduces what force? What force, Bond Mill?
Friction.
Friction is right. Yes, good, go. Yes, sir. Please choose.
Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, the U.S. government shamefully conducted an experiment back in the 1930s to the 1970s down at the Tuskegee Institute where men suffering from syphilis were deliberately denied being given this antibiotic, the very first antibiotic ever, Bond Mill.
Penicillin?
Yeah, penicillin that they grew from that fungus. All right. The red is on a roll. Go Bond Mill.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, multiple choice question. If you take a ball of steel wool and put it into a cup of vinegar, take it out, shake it, put it into another jar with a thermometer, the temperature will start to go up as the steel wool starts to rust. Is that an exothermic reaction, endothermic, or catalytic? Which of those three, Glenarden Woods?
Ectothermic.
Say it.
Ectothermic.
Judges? No. Yes, exothermic, yes? All right, we're going to throw that question out. Choose again, please, Red. It was an exothermic reaction. Should have been exo, endo, or catalytic. Exo was the answer. Go Red. Oh, excuse me, is it Red team?
Yes.
Yes, go. Elijah?
Green things for 25 points.
Green things for 25. Teams, if you look closely at carnivorous plants, you'll notice that they don't have very many leaves. That's because they no longer, Glenarden Woods,
photosynthesis.
They don't have to photosynthesize anymore because they're catching bugs. Good. Go. Green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, you can watch raisins dance in a cup of soda as they ride these bubbles up and down to the surface, Joseph.
Carbon dioxide?
Yeah, the carbon dioxide bubbles, they ride it up, it pops, they go back down, they find another one. It's a fun ride until the soda goes flat. Go Green.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, while the Venus de Milo statue has no arms, the horseman in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow has no what? Glenarden Woods?
Head?
Yeah, the headless horseman. Green.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline 5. Teams. After the catastrophic damage she caused back in the fall, She, who has the same name as little orphan Annie's dog, will no longer be a hurricane name. Glenarden Woods.
Sandy.
Sandy. There will be no more Hurricane Sandy. Absolutely right. And with that, the buzzer has sounded. We've come to the end of the game. It looks like Glenarden Woods is headed to the finals. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
Hello? Hello? I've been on the street for a while. I saw your poster outside. I don't know what to do.
National Runaway Switchboard, how can I help? Call 1-800-RUNAWAY to make the connection.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. We hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. We had some tough questions today, but some really tough competitors. We are proud of all of our players. They're all winners today. Our final tally is Bond Mill 140. I want to see some smiles over here. Glenarden Woods 285. Congratulations, you are headed to the finals. Chris and Joseph and Chittima. And standing back there we have Max and Samuel. Miss Emerson, Miss Stewart, you have worked hard and it has paid off. Good luck to you in the finals. And Bond Mill, you came this close. You never gave up. You came back in that second half. The red was rolling. Emily, your dogs are proud of you. Elijah, we're happy for you. Matthew, I know you're going to be back again and playing our game when you get to middle school. Chris, I know you're very proud of this team. Mr. Fitzgerald, the principal, thank you for being here today. I know how happy you are about these young people. And Kathy, what do I say? You're part of the family. 26 years. Please come back. We'll see you next time on the second semifinal game. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Dave Zarin. Bye-bye.